Hey, it's me, Big P. I wanted to real quick just go over the day one progress of the Vaal Blade Vortex Architect of Chaos. Gonna mouse over all my gear real quick, but none of it is really important or crucial. We are still using a lot of leftovers from the campaign. I will go into that after I run a map because I kind of want to show the most important thing about the build is how the use of Vaal skills actually feels and works in maps. We're working through our white maps, so we're gonna run this. This one's a little scary. Extra proj, increased life, is lightning, and I'm still okay. I am lightning capped now. I am currently running purity of elements, but as soon as I get a little bit more lightning res and figure out all the ailments, I will start to move into hatred. We are wanting for more damage as we push through, but really the important thing is looking at how the Vaal Blade Vortex works. Now, I know Captain Lance is doing Vaal Cold Snap, and that's like a bit more interesting of a spell. Or maybe not interesting, let's say nuanced. Because, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When this is at max stacks, my current setup, when this says 20, that means we have 4 button presses of it. Which is exactly what I want. Here's how it clears the King's March stuff. Unless I die, which I might, because this is a very not tanky. I will show the tree as well. We're really starting to fall over in maps now, especially with some of the lead mechanics starting to add up. The lack of defenses on this build is really starting to show. I kind of knew it would. We're going into block, sort of. But glancing blows kind of feels bad without a shaped shield that has recovered life on block and stuff like that. So, like, you know, I figured there'd be a long way to go. I will do one. Do that extra project. Basically, so there we have 20. So I'm gonna hit it 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of a waste, but just want to show the carnage of it. You know, it's a very different feel from a standard Blade Vortex character because it's kind of like aimable off-screening stuff. One big thing I will say, you know, we are running Cast on Death Portal. We're going full softcore Andy here. Unfortunately, if you die while your Vaal Blade Vortexes are going, they don't keep going. I was kind of banking on that. I'm just going to do one of these because I'm getting way too much stuff showing up in maps. Gonna try and kill. So the normal Blade Vortex, you ideally do want it to function, but then when the rares show up, it's like, yo, toss out. All right, bring in these shits, which are really annoying on these guys that come up and down. You know, it's kind of like dealing with weird minion AI when they, you know, won't go where you want them to do damage. So you just have to do a bunch of them, or yeah, there you go. See, I was gonna say, when you're kind of in that weird middle ground, you know, we still need to push damage. We're using a leftover like crap from that just dropped in like act what, like this is like act like 6 or something, or like 7. So I probably should invest in a weapon sooner rather than later, just because we're starting to feel, especially in some of these rares. See, there you go, another quick death there. We're still using like terrible gear like this. I was leveling with like smite and stuff like that. But what does this guy have? Random charges cannot be leave. Yeah, extra lightning damage and stuff. Like, you know what? We're just gonna skip that. Still a lot of ways to go. As far as killing the boss, I mean, let's just kind of rush over to that because I did a more open map because I didn't want to, you know, misrepresent the clear. But Vaal Blade Vortex is actually kind of great with clear. Again, like if it follows and hits the stuff that's actually dangerous to you. As a normal Blade Vortex skill, it's like, yeah, sure. You know, I got a lot of ways to go. I need a 5th and 6th link on the build. We need to fully get all our crit nodes. We need to get... I believe that it would be best to get exposure set up. I am kind of in the some of the other elemental masteries that are like kind of not good to pair with exposure. I think it's pretty good at clearing harbingers. Stuff it's good at clearing right now, harbingers and blights. These just like make a lot of stuff that it can like spawn camp, which is when it's at its best. Still take a bunch of hits here and there from like that annoying like snowball shit. But you know, it's been fun, but we are running into some pain points for the build. Another one is recovery, just in general. It could be a lot better. We're still using Holy Flame Totem just because it gives me Consecrated Ground, which I miss dearly. So this is just pure Blade Vortex right now. We're going to save all of the Vaal for the second half of this just to really kind of pump up the damage. So it is still functional, you know, as a Vaal Blade Vortex, or just a regular Blade Vortex skill. But, you know, it's got a long ways to go. Oh, I used one, but it was right at the end there. Alright. It's really hard to say, you know, like, I'm not going to be, like, min-maxing the duration. This is just the current setup with the 3 Ascendancy points that we have here, which currently feels okay for Atlas completion and general farming. Alright, we're going to throw all of them down here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4... So, you know, it's just, I feel like it should be, we want it to get to a point where, like, this is just completely decimating the boss, and I don't think we're there yet. Pretty decent for, you know, leveling gear, and increase life effect, and actually drop 2 there. Let's loot and ID those, so we can go over, some of these have been so fun. Reduce cost of towers, big chunks for Einhar. And an increased chance to drop scarabs. That's a pretty solid one. And then we have Sulfite, Legion, Incursion, Expedition. Yeah, like these are like pretty busted and fun to play around with, but it is sort of turning how into, I predicted it's like, all right, I'm throwing these in for more map sustain and more juice, and my character is, you know, when your character is kind of lagging a bit behind in terms of damage and all that sort of shit, it's a little dangerous to run, but you know what? Cast on Death 6 portals, baby. We are not looking to live long. We are looking to do a bunch of damage. So a lot of improvements to be made. You know, I'm just picking up every wand and scepter I find. Just because it's got to get there, you know. If the point of the build is going to be to throw out a bunch of Ball Blade Vortexes that do a lot of damage, you gotta spec for that. My tree's not for tanking this. The tree is for damage. I haven't gone into a bunch of it yet. Yeah, we gotta get rid of this Holy Flame Totem. I'm really using it as a crutch to like pull some aggro and get some regen with Consecrated Ground, but it's old. I was leveling with Smite and the Aberrath's Hooves. Here is a look at the current tree. Well, first let's go over this real quick. Everlasting Sacrifice, I don't even know if that's working properly in my build. I definitely haven't min-maxed it. It's kind of in a weird position where you want like less ES, and between not wanting ES and not wanting to, you know, have like this ugly part of my tree for 30 dex while I'm leveling, just so that I can level my fucking skill gem. The dex is really getting to the point where it's punishing. So actually I'm curious, does it? Yeah, no, it keeps the lower level of requirements, so I'm only going to need like around 160, but I kind of want to run Supreme Ostentation. I'm just not sure if this is the sort of build that can kind of, you know, do that. We are Glancing Blows right now, although I kind of want to go True Block, even with like this setup here and this here, the whole thing. We're 70 Glancing Blows and 42 Spell Block, which is like, it's okay, but the real power of something like Glancing Blows is when you get a Shaper Shield that you can recover life on block, which we're sorely needing. I actually do need to fill this out for more recovery and stuff, you know, but like we also are needing damage, and we're running out of levels, you know. We only got about 5 or 10 that are like free, and then, you know, once we start pushing into yellows and reds, I'm going to start wanting to progress the Atlas, but, you know, you're going to run into that softcore issue of just losing your whole XP bar in like a dangerous corrupted red map. So hopefully we figure that out soon. You know, a lot of space left to go on gear. Check your item levels when you're buying your Hrim Sorrows. This one can only have 3 sockets, so right now this is just for the move speed sitting. The current links here are Added Cold, Unleash, and Power Charge on Critical, which I don't think is actually the best one, but we're going into some Power Charge scaling. I probably should use something else before we have like Disciple of the Forbidden and the other one here. And my old tree reached all the way down here, but I think we're just going to anoint this one for now. If we are, you know, going for full Power Charge scaling, the last Ascendancy node I imagine will be this one, which will just kind of bring it all over the top. We'll get a lot reduced prevention duration, as well as an insane amount of critical strike chance. Let me know if you know what the 286 is a reference to. I don't really know. but that'll bring up the crit to a point, I think, where it'll be similar to as much crit as you're getting on Inquisitor, with like your strength nodes and shit like that. So it'll be pretty good, and should bring up the damage a lot, because we do have, like I said, a long way to go with the build. I wouldn't follow any of this to like this is Holy Flame Totem, multiple totem, added fire, and at least it's given me Cull. But like I want this to be like a Frost Bomb curse setup. You know, we really need to start scaling. I'm scaling more like generic elemental damage right now, although, you know, I am fully converting to cold. You know, between just generic elemental stuff on the tree, like we're not in this cold section right here. I'm not even sure if we're going for Winter Embrace over here as well. Like, I don't know, I've kind of condensed the tree a bit more, but we'll see, you know, how I feel. What else? I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. Again, Supreme Ostentation I am considering because the requirement, like, we're not really looking into stacking any attributes in the same way like an Inquisitor would for crit, or just any other type of build would for stuff. So I don't know if that's really an option though, because I haven't really run that in a lot of setups. It sounds like it would be good to get around the requirements of Vaal Blade Vortex, because like even with 30 decks here, I don't have decks here. I could craft it on there if I need it. A terrible amulet that is required for, you know, my gems. Like I said, you know, we gotta get there somehow. I take this off, yeah, okay. The only thing good about this is like a tier 3 flat fire to spells and some cast speed. With like generic spell and elemental damage, you can get a way better wand and a way better shield as well. Like there's gonna be, this is okay. Right now this is just kind of what's fixing up lightning resistance for me. But yeah, we still got a long ways to go with the build. As far as how it's feeling, I don't know. We're definitely in the sort of iffy phase that I knew we would be in, where it's like, okay, we are ostensibly doing damage, but you can't do any damage when you're dead. And unfortunately, Vaal Blade Vortexes disappear when you die. So Cast Undeath Portal, you know, is kind of hoping that I would just let them clear the map. It's like super softcore bullshit, but it's not the case. So we are going to have to really start to invest in the build, get a chess piece with 5 link, 6 link, get a +1, you know. I mean, it's really going to start to blossom when we get to a level, because the +3 right now applying to the 17 skill gem is just a 20 skill gem. Anybody can get that. Spell scaling really kind of goes over the top when you get to those 20, 21, 22, and even higher and higher. We're going to hopefully push this as much as we can. I am maybe considering going Valkyris instead, but like, I don't know, then you wouldn't be fully converting into element. I'm definitely going to start looking at some other people who are running this sort of setup for more direct inspiration, so let me know if you're trying anything that's working fantastically. I'm kind of happy with how it is right now, just for fucking around in yellow and white maps. Should be fine while we, you know, farm out some basic gear and stuff like that. It's really the red maps and beyond, you know, once we get like a full farming setup, especially with some of the juice that we're probably going to have, it's going to be a complete mess. Like setting stuff like this up sounds like it's going to be so fun, or seems like it's going to be fun already. Like I'm already freaking out. Here's a current look at the stats of my idols if you want to see just like an idea of what you can get here. You can get, I mean, 107% chance to contain an additional harbinger just off, like, I'm basically looting. The only one I tossed here was items dropped by rare monsters have a 3% chance to be corrupted. I just don't want that on my generic leveling stuff, because it's going to corrupt the fucking tier 0 unique that drops for me. Like, I'm just not about that. But otherwise, it's a perfectly fine one. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of juice here, and this is really, now that we're in mapping and getting into like the meat of the whatchamacallit, the event, having a lot of fun, even though I'm getting fucking destroyed, as you can see, by stuff like the harvest and stuff. But you get a harvest for like fucking free. I'm getting Alva in every map. I thought I would be like, oh, I don't know if I can target farm Alva to get my 21, 23 Vaal Blade Vortex. I have too many Alvas. I don't have the level 20 plus Vaal Blade Vortex I need to corrupt. So, but yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna stream a bunch more today, on and off. I haven't been feeling super well, and I am helping some friends with some gaming as well. They're getting into it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions on how to tank up the build in this particular area of the tree. I am liking this a lot, but I will say I miss Pious Path. I always knew that I was using Pious Path on Inquisitor as a huge crush. crutch for recovery and just general tankiness, but now I'm paying for it here. So let me know if you have any suggestions. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take it easy.